and welcome to the Colbert Report. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert, and joining us today from The Daily Show will be my co-host, Jon Stewart.
Hello, and again, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to be joining you, Steve.
As for today's show, we'll be interviewing Ayn Rand, author of The Fountainhead, among other various novels, with the primary objective of the day being the discussion of Rand's ideals of objectivism and selfishness. Now please welcome to the show, Mrs. Ayn Rand.
Thank you, Stephen, for having me today. First off, before you commence asking any questions, I would like to state my general idea about objectivism, so are at least familiar with my background. I will give you objectivism's essential position in the four main branches of philosophy: metaphysics, epistemology, ethics, and politics. In metaphysics, objectivism holds that existence exists. Pretty basic. Which means that reality is an objective absolute unaffected by and existing independently of any perceiver or any perceiver's feelings, wishes, hopes, or fears. In epistemology now, objectivism holds that reason is man's only means of knowledge and his only guide to action. By reason we mean the faculty that identifies and integrates the material provided by man's senses. In ethics, objectivism holds that man exists for his own sake, and he must neither sacrifice himself to others nor sacrifice others to himself, and that is the highest moral purpose, is the achievement of his own happiness. In politics, however, objectivism stands for laissez-faire capitalism, which means that separation of state, economics, and as corollary, we hold that men must also deal with one another as traders, exchanging values for value, with no one being told that he must sacrifice for the sake of others or the state.
Thank you for that long and intriguing introduction.
Yeah, right.
We will also get to the topics you discussed on, but next, let's discuss your ideals. The term selfishness creates a mental block and evokes feelings of guilt in most people. They can't understand, for example, how personal relationships could exist under your ethics. Do you think that love or friendship could be unselfish?
Quite simply, friendship and love, particularly romantic love, are the most selfish relationships possible. People do get blinded when they hear the word selfishness, yet it is in this sense that friendship, and particularly love, must be the expression of your most profoundly selfish desire.
Moving on to current events, how would you view President Obama's stimulus package, Barry, buddy?
I personally believe that the notion of a government aiding private business is ridiculous. I am a firm believer in laissez-faire capitalism and believe that if business is left alone, it will function to its maximum capacity.
Therefore, you would also condemn the idea of the government-aided construction that occurs in the end of your own novel, The Fountainhead?
I would agree with the part of your statement in that the government is acting in a way in which to be selfish and not selfish. In regards to Rourke, he only becomes involved in the project to see his own building resurrected.
Mrs. Rand, you just mentioned the notion of selfishness. Could you inform the audience on that ideal?
I propose that an individual should act in a way in which to please oneself and nobody else. The greatest men that ever lived were all similar to this, developing inventions that were shunned during the era, or later immense advancements.
So, going back to the government issue, what do you believe is the proper function of government?
In fundamental terms, only one: the protection of individual rights of the citizen. These rights consist of the right to life and everything that life requires, which means the right to freedom or the right to the pursuit of one's own happiness. In the respect, the Declaration of Independence had it stated beautifully. But the main issue on which we failed in this country is identifying with what constitutes a violation of a right. In my view, is that the only way in which anyone's right can be violated is by the initiation of force. It is only force that you can rob or enslave someone.
Really?
Therefore, protecting rights consists in protecting individual citizens from the initiation of physical forces, either by other citizens or by foreign enemies. That is the only proper function of government. A corollary function, however, is the provision of a legal system of courts where men can settle their disputes peacefully according to objectively defined laws. Laws that are understood and known in advance, and they do not infringe anyone's rights, but the government should not regulate the economy there should be a separation of economics and state in the same way and the same reason that we have a separation of church and state. But in the matter of protecting people from physical danger, if certain conditions of employment, let us say, are unsafe and it can be proved that there is a physical risk, I don't say that we have to wait until somebody dies. Then the employer who is creating the risk can be sued and can be severely punished financially. In other words, there can be a law protecting a man from physical injury by another man. In this case, the employer who puts men in conditions of danger, not accidentally, but intentionally or carelessly, can be penalized because he is infringing on the right of the other workers not to be injured.
Before delving into issues dealing with your own romantic ordeals, I believe the viewers wish to further hear about your outlook on love because in your books you speak of love as it was some sort of business deal. Isn't the basis of love based on self-interest?
Let me make it concrete. What would it mean to have love above self-interest? It would mean that a husband, if he accepted the conventionality morality, would tell his wife, I am marrying you just for your own sake. I have no personal interest in you. But I am so unselfish that I am marrying you for your own good. Would any woman like that?
So you essentially are telling us that at the end of the day, married couples should tally up and say, I love her if she's done enough for me today, or she loves me if I have properly performed my function?
Yeah, so she makes all the sandwiches? Well, good.
No, you misunderstand me. That is not how love should be treated. It should be treated like a business deal. But every arrangement has to have its own terms and its own kind of currency. And in love, the currency is virtue. You love people not for what you do for them, but what they do for you. You love them for their values and their virtues, which they have achieved in their own character. You don't love causelessly. You don't love everybody indiscriminately. You love only those who deserve it.
Thus, if a man is weak, is he doomed to a life without love?
He certainly does not deserve it, but he has free will. If a man wants love, he should correct his flaws, and then he may deserve it. But he cannot expect the unearned, neither in love nor in money, neither in spirit nor in matter.
You have successfully recognized the fallibility of human beings. Thus it would only seem a select group would be worthy of love according to you.
Unfortunately, yes, very few. But it is open to all to make themselves worthy of it. And it is what my morality offers them, a way to make themselves worthy of love, although that is not my primary goal.
Interesting, because from the knowledge I possess, there have been instances when you yourself have betrayed your own ideals. For instance, would you entertain the topic of Nathaniel Branden?
Nathaniel Branden? While your question is risque in nature, I will amuse the audience with my background. Early in my life, I met both Nathaniel Branden and Barbara Weinman, who both held similar views to me. Then these two got married in 1953, whereas I had already been married to Frank O'Connor since 1929. It was shortly after these two married that Nathan and I had an affair that would continue until this day.
I was just on your Wikipedia page, and it says that nobody had firm knowledge of this situation.
On the contrary, both of our spouses were aware of the situation and were persuaded to give consent to our views.
Yet this relationship would come to an abrupt end, if I remember correctly.
Yes, unfortunately, between the years of 1964 and 1968, Nathan had become involved with how to put this delicately, a dancer, 35 years younger than me.
Then I remember that your emotions got the best of you, and you exploded over the issue. Yet this seems to be contradictory to the idea of selfishness that you just preached to us. Nathan was acting in a way in which to please himself, being inherently selfish. Any comments?
While I tried to act in a similar way to Rourke, stoic, in all situations, it is difficult to do so at times, and I will no longer give any further comment on this topic.